I'm disassembling more parts of Lawrie's vehicles.
So all we actually do, isn't it, is disassemble things?
I think that would work anyway.
Oh yeah, that's fine, isn't it? I particularly like this bit here.
Yeah.
So welcome back to our series looking at trying to get the Reliant to work. In the first part, you saw as I skillfully and totally safely managed to offload it from the trailer, having acquired the car, and resulted in having no problems at all, and actually managed to get the thing running. If only briefly before we started to disassemble it. So welcome back to What's Broken Now Spotlight.
Wait, is that like... Oh wow, that is totally in the wrong position now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine, but we can just very slowly bend it around, because I had to straighten it out so I can get it down.
Gotcha. And the other one? Is that? I am waiting for it to go bang.
The largest problem with the Reliant, apart from the complete lack of a dash or any working electronics, was the fact that it had no functioning brakes save the handbrake, and even this was sticking on. So our first real mission was to try and disassemble the brakes, take off the master brake cylinder, and disassemble everything so we could give everything an overhaul. Which in this case meant that we had to disconnect part of the electronic system to be able to route the brake pipe underneath it.
I feel like I've done something.
Thank you. Right.
I need to swap my arms with you. There you go. That's gone under there, and I can get that back on there. And goes there. That's more or less how that should go. Sweet.
Looks more like it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. That looks about right.
We fixed something for once.
No, we haven't. We've just put something back where it should go.
No, we fixed something.
Alright, the brakes work now. Now don't put that on. I haven't done that uptight, you muppet.
The other big problem that we were experiencing was the fact that we were trying to do this over winter, which meant that we had to deal with winter weather, which included such lovely things such as snow, and that did rather hamper progress quite significantly. I did, however, have a car that ran, and it even had the wants of some working electronics. That was about the extent of it. So the most important thing was to get on with the brakes.
Oh, that's manky. Are cobwebs helpful? I was kind of waiting for that just to disappear.
Roll down the road, and I'm just running after it. Man runs after the tyre.
They're basically, it's like a wheelbarrow tyre, isn't it?
Wow, that really doesn't weigh anything.
That needs a clean. Are you using suspension on this? It's just a single leaf spring. I am sure that this car is going to make me regret it, sorry, this trike, but I love it for the fact that you can just pick a wheel up one-handed and stick it on. Everything about this is easy.
Yeah.
It's simple. And
everything else was easy that you bought.
Doesn't understand. Because that's got a release. It will be that, isn't it? That's a screw. Pair of pliers on that. That's the screw that releases, twists and pops out. Sure.
Just want to double check. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Lever the end of the shoe from the wheel cylinder piston and lift the other end of the shoe from the slot in the adjuster. Then lever the second shoe from the position adjuster, disengaging the web from the handbrake operating lever. Figure 911.
Yeah, like that. Without losing all the bits in the spring as it flies away.
Okay.
That's there. So that should be that. Now this should be free. I think we have to release that spring.
This spring?
Well, we did on the... I mean, that should just kind of come off there. Did I just notch that through? I did. So that's come through there. That's the other end of it.
Right.
We can release those springs.
Let's not. Let's just get this all together. So
if we flick those springs up, they're a pain in the backside to ever get back together again. I'll just say that much. but I don't see how else we do it.
No, I think.
Yeah, it's basically that, I think. The rear one might be slightly easier to do, I don't know. Yes, it was. Right, so that should now just pop off. We should be able to pull that round. Putting. If you release the tension on it slightly, it should be easier to just, yeah, it should just pop off. Right, yeah. Yep, like that. And now we should be able to get to that one, which should now be bolted in at the back. A bolt. If you grab the other one there, it's just in there. We'll be able to see how it looks like it's bolted in. But on the back of that, yeah, that's up there. Okay, it's not bolted, it's just slid.
Yeah,
Manual.
I think. Yes, I can use tools.
Yeah, I see that. You're good with it, aren't you?
No.
Do you want me to have a go? Bear in mind it's the other way, isn't it? 'Cause it's on the reverse. Is that loosening off or?
What should have been a 10-minute job has now taken an hour just to get that one off because double horseshoe circlips.
Which I may have bent badly.
Well, we'll flatten them. But
that was a little knackered, let's be honest.
Amazingly, that's still straight after us trying to knock the pin out. So.
Because that then sits inside the new one, yeah?
Yeah.
So the new one's there. Yeah. So that goes into the recess like that. And then that fits back through there. And that drops into there.
Sort of like that, I guess.
Yeah, now we just need to repeat the process of getting those epoxy clips back on. And that will hold it in place.
Great. I love drum brakes. Drum brakes, just best design.
Yeah, they're great.
Calipers are overrated, man.
Yeah, totally. I think it's made all the better by the fact it's raining.
No.
You've been abused by the
It's prickly, Lawrie. It hurts my ear. Ow.
You want me to do that up top for you, or you're okay? So, Trev,
Yes.
explain to me what we're doing at this stage. Apart from
Realising the fact that because it doesn't have a hand, loosening these nuts is going to be extremely difficult.
I can do that.
So these tyres are so perished that as I push them, it cracks.
Oh, that's bad. So this is the Diplomat.
Yeah. Diplomat. Made in Great Britain though.
Good.
Yes, it lives and breathes as I push it.
That's not how tyres are meant to be, is it?
No. I mean, it's got lots of tread, but...
No, it's fine then. It'll be fine for another couple of years.
I think you're going to have to get it replaced.
Because the handbrake doesn't work, I am now a handbrake. You may refer to me as the land anchor.
The land what?
Anchor.
Anchor?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard something else. for a
I'm
moment
sure
then.
you did hear something else.
Right, shall we just completely nuts off?
Yeah, I think so, because it's not going to go anywhere until you put the jack under anyway, is it?
Okay, back. This is Trev's new friend. He's going to be the unofficial mascot of LMM.
He seems to be lost and all confused. No, go. No.
He's very attracted to you. Maybe you smell like a flower.
Maybe he's having a look at the Reliant thinking, what on earth is this?
I can get the pry bar.
I am the pry bar.
Is that what they call you in jail?
I just like hammering your cars.
Yes, I noticed. As long as you don't hit the fiberglass, I guess it's fine.
I'm gonna hit the fiberglass.
Oh, that's what you said last time.
Shut up.
That's why there's a hole in the door.
There's no hole in the door, and that wasn't me. The naked lady from afar.
Is that what you... I don't...
Remember when we turned up and I said, why has it got a naked lady on the side? And you went, what?
And I feel like that to this day. Can we just try pulling it? No, don't whack it. Okay. Bending the back of it back rather than forward, but yeah.
He's helping, I'm leveraging.
Shall I just do Gaston strength on it?
Look, I did it.
Yeah, okay.
I did it. I did it. I did it. I'm doing it.
You are? I hate drum brakes.
Yes.
We're never doing this again.
No.
It's never getting new brakes. Although I do rather suspect it may not ever drive fast enough, far enough to need them. This is how you remove a brake pad. It's off. It doesn't look very off. Ah, hit the thing. Oh God, come on. Come on, let go. Let go. Maybe I'll just pick it up from the other side and not do that one. Leave that alone a sec. Maybe
No, it's coming.
Yeah, but I fear putting it back on. I think we can just pull that.
That's what I was doing.
Yep.
You were like, no, take the other one off.
Well, yeah. It came off anyway.
Your method seems a lot more efficient than mine. I guess this is what they mean about brake cleaner.
I've got to go underneath now, haven't I? You join us as we attempt to remove a completely knackered split pin.
Yeah. Split on both ends.
Cannot get purchased, the whole thing is seized. It's amazing, like this has had some really nice new bits, like you can see down there there's the new exhaust, and then it's got bits like this which obviously have not been touched this millennium. I like how it blows in the wind.
What?
It's like a flag. As me and Trev find ourselves once again playing with drum brakes, we have both concluded once again that we will never, ever, ever touch these poxy things again. What are you doing?
Making sure the split pin's in.
Okay, that's probably wise. Right, spray it all with some...
Yeah, and then we've got these fun things to put back in.
Oh, I hate those. They're awful. But we are getting better at it. I mean, when we first did this, it took an entire day to get one, and we've just pulled one apart, rebuilt it, and now on number 2. And it's not even lunchtime.
Are you filming me?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, 8-man, put wheel on.
Good show. Do you know what
Where
you...
are the nuts?
Underneath you, I think. Yeah, there's 1, there's 2.
3. That's alright, you're right with 3 nuts, right?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be alright.
By this point, we'd now renewed all of the brake cylinders on all 3 wheels and all of the pipework that goes to said 3 wheels. However, LMMon's was now but a month away, and Trev left to go concentrate on trying to get his Kia Pride ready, leaving me to tackle the non-functioning electrics.
So, what we have here is brakes back on it, but I don't have any go noise. I've taken this one off here, which goes down to the fuel pump there. We've led it up to there. And we made sure the pump is kicking fuel out, which it is. So the next stage is take this line off, which goes around to the carb back there. And see if that chucks up.
Turns out the pump was working fine, and all it needed was some carb cleaner to be sprayed inside the carb. So now I had working brakes, a working engine, but no lights.
Why can it just never be easy? Oh, that worked. I love these things. Magnificent. So they're wrong threaded. There's a boxing there. So you've got your cutting bit there on one end and then thread there. So you go in, turning it backwards and it goes through and pulls things off. Brilliant. So one of the discussions I've had was, although it is a vehicle that goes on the road, it doesn't need reverse lights. What it does, however, need is a fog light, which is what that little hanger there is for. So luckily, over in my box of bits I've acquired, I've got a new fog light.
And amazingly, once installed, the existing wiring and switch actually worked.
So I've had an idea that this switch was dodgy, so I took it to a nice Reliant man at CHG Classics. He looked at my switch and went, it's indeed knackered. Now I haven't tried any of the other wiring here, but I have a suspicion that if I push that, the side lights will come on. And now I should have headlights. But, so this is going to be the big moment of if I have headlights, or if something else is knackered. And... it's got lights. Look at those bright things blinding their way through the darkness. Right, okay, so indicator thing, that's the other thing that's dying on it. This is stopped working. I'm going click, it's just, so I've got a new one to go on. This has now completely given up the ghost. It goes down, but it doesn't stay up. So all I want to do is just see around here, there's that bolt there, I'll screw that one underneath, and then I have this a brand new unit, brand new, to go in instead. So just start taking this off, really. Oh, there we go. Cool. Challenge to take this up. Oh, this all falls off.
By this point, I'd had enough of dodgy electrics, so I decided to concentrate on something else.
Now, because Reliant are a wonderful machine, here we have the Carburettor, and just over there you can see the fuel line in it, and underneath that you may be able to see a line going to atmosphere. That's the overflow, so if you put too much petrol into the bowl, it spits it out there. Now, spitting out petrol on top of the rocker cover in a fiberglass car is a bad idea, and also illegal to have it vent into atmosphere. So there should be a pipe that goes through here, along here, and drops down that hole there into one of these. This is a fuel collection bowl. Yep, and this job is just to hold the fuel and anything else coming out of this pipe here that I've just reinstalled. I put a T-piece in there, so that now comes to here. So I've got to install one of these underneath the car to collect the fuel. Brilliant. So that's my next job. And then, so if I put that there, so I can take this new piece of pipe that I've gathered here, and then this one can go on that little T-piece and loop all the way around to here. It's starting to come together. Right, as the dreaded day grows closer, rather than concentrating on anything important, I've decided the most important thing I can do is try and get the heat hoses in. As I've now rewired, you can just see my red wires here, because they all use green. And so I've decided red is also a good colour, which goes through here. But I've just had to do a repair. This is the speedo drive, and that had sheared there, so I've glued that back together and we're going to hope that holds. That goes through there. And I'm now routing these, which are the heat hoses, because I've got that magical thing working. So I've just got to put these through, and then you might be able to see just over there, I've got the dash out, because the dash is ready to be installed. There's a new wiper on it. It's all very, very close, but I have to install all of this before I can get the rest of the dash in. Currently it just looks like there's a dead spider or a dead alien laying face down in my engine bay. Also, this ducting is such an afterthought. It's so in the way of everything. No wonder whoever started restoring that before me took it all out. It's a pain. And there we are with the spider arms installed, which means the next big moment is let's give it some ignition. Open the door, and let's why do I have no power? Do I have anything else that works? Does any of this? Okay, that won't work without ignition. So what have I managed to destroy? Is it that? Should that come after the ignition? What have I destroyed? I've broken something, and I don't know what I've broken. Why have I got no power? So, oh god. Right, we're back. Literally the first wire I tried pulling off and pulling off back there. Obviously I'd nudged off. So, theoretically, I've bodged a new wire here. Oh, and I have cold air blowing into the cabin! Yes! I made it work! So, at this stage, I've got less than a week before this is meant to go out. on its trip, and I am yet to get an MOT on it. It's fine, it's fine. And you may be thinking, well, Lawrie, sure, you should be struggling and working very hard on getting that dash to go back in. And I agree with you. On the other hand, what I could do is remove the window. Yes. Mostly because I sat in it the other day, and this is knackered. You can see it's lost all of its rubber along there. See, that's all gone. So it doesn't seal, so the water just comes in and drips into here, and you might be able to see down there it's very damp. So let's drill this out.
From my point of view, this made perfect sense. If the window was leaking and letting water in, it would just muck up my electronics again. And taking the window out also allowed me to get to the door lock to try and fix that. And also to repair a crack in the door frame itself to try and keep the car together.
So one of the features we have with my Reliant is this rather natty steering wheel cover with all these little holes in it for better grip and ventilation. And there are some places like here where it's getting a little bit worn. And there are places like over here where it's becoming more worn and come down to the undercover. And then there are bits here where it's become exceedingly worn, where I'm just pulling it off at the moment because the wheel feels okay, and that feels a lot nicer to hold than this horrid stuff. The nice thing about this, possibly factory optional extra, because it's all very nice. I mean, look at that leather and foam on the inside, it's all stitched around the wheel, is that underneath there is a very nice little, very little tiny steering wheel, which I am loving. That's like half the diameter. Look at that, that's about like that compared to that. This is a twee steering wheel. I'm very excited to drive with this. That's how it was intended. This upgrade, yeah, very nice, but it's going. And with that, that's nice of that. That's garbage. That's going there. And look at my little wheel. Oh, that's good. Oh, that feels so much nicer already. I like that. Right, so we're now at a stage that everything in here works. I've taped up bits that I don't think I need. I've done a clean up, a sweep up. Everything's there. Oh, and I've reassembled the door. Yes, the door is reassembled, and the door now functions more or less as it should. Now, you might see my repair here. There's a bit cut out there because where I stuck it on there, it wouldn't shut. But now, like that. So yes, dash, and see if I can get an MOT. Okay. Well, that's fairly momentous, but it's in. It is indeed in. No, that's a short. That's because they're now not lighting up where they're meant to light up on the hazard thing. And more importantly, if I turn the ignition on, everything lights up because it's wide.
This was in fact exceptionally poor timing because the car was due to go in for its MOT the next day, and so we began a very long and arduous task of going through all the wiring that had all functioned before I'd installed the dash to try and figure what I'd done wrong. And eventually I figured it was the hazard switch that had failed, and on putting a new one in and reinstalling everything, all the lights functioned like they should. So finally, things are working. I was just about to do a bit more. I noticed down here there's a puddle under the exhaust. So I was like, what have I got a leak? Yes, I have a very bad leak on my exhaust.
Oh sweet ass, I've been sitting for a bit and the temperature gauge is starting to do something. My god, so the only thing that's not working on it is the fuel gauge.
And against all of the odds, the car was indeed finished enough to drive itself for its MOT.
So on my drive down here, the temperature of this got very hot. So I've gone home and I've got the thermogun. We can now see if it actually is getting hot. The answer is not really. So it's been running for a bit now, and as you can see, not actually getting that hot. We're talking 50 degrees. Shoots out the radiator. Medium 50s. So, but if we look in here, temperature gauge is saying it's hot. So what we've learned is the temperature gauge is a liar.
Annoyingly, the Reliant failed its MOT on a front wheel bearing, which meant I had to do a quick trip up to CHG to get a new one to then get it back and get it installed. It is the morning of LMMon's 2.0 and we are ready. Kind of ready. It's... I've told the others I'm going to be there soon. Yeah. My colleagues didn't mind being left out in the cold wind and rain for an entire morning, and eventually my little Reliant gained a front wheel once again and was lowered back down onto the floor and given a shiny MOT, just in time for me to drive and join the rest of the gang to take it out on its first road trip on LMMon's. And those of you who have watched the series will know exactly how well that ended for me. And with that, that's the end of this little mini-series on looking at getting the Reliant ready for LMMon's. And of course, we'll continue to document its progress here on the channel with whatever else goes wrong and whatever else it gets up to. And with that, thanks for watching guys. We'll see you next time.